Now. Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
I can do Halloween then. Because I am grown. I guess I could change my way of thinking.
What would you be celebrating?
I don't know when you do Halloween because most of my life it was a bad holiday. It's like, you don't really do Devil's Night.
Why is it Devil's Night? Because people dress up in any type of costume. They're not to be a ghost, goblin, or gremlin, but they dressed up and party. What is there to celebrate and do?
It's I don't know. How do you take a night that's for the dead?
How do you claim it for the dead?
Okay, maybe I need to research what Halloween is.
It's a man-made pagan holiday that people choose to commemorate it on a day. Just like we do President's Day. And
I'm back.
Veterans. You don't say it's a bad day because you're talking about veterans. We don't dress up like
but
that.
We don't celebrate the undead on
Undead? Who is undead? You didn't really watching these TV. Bobby, what do you think? I mean, is the day of Halloween, the dressing up and going to party, is that bad?
To each his own is all about what you believe in. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what to say. It's to each his own. I really not. I'm only into it for the child because of the foundation of it all. But other than that, no, I don't.
Is it a celebration of anything, or is it just a fun thing?
It's just a fun thing to me.
Isn't it for the dead?
Mm-mm.
What dead? What do you do for the dead on Halloween? What does your people do on the dead for Halloween?
Don't nobody do nothing for Halloween. We don't celebrate the holiday because.
How is it for the dead if you're not doing nothing for the dead?
True.
It's Devil's Night in Detroit.
What are you doing for the devil?
That's what they call it. I don't know.
That was back in the folklore in the 19 something.
See that?
This is 2021.
And so it's changed the definition of Halloween.
Well, I'm just asking you, what are you doing for the devil?
What does Alexa say Halloween is?
Did she do something for the devil?
It's got to be a definition that Halloween is for the dead,
Halloween for the dead.
not for the
I just
living.
can't get that. I'm sorry. Bobby, maybe you have some. I just don't get it, but
I'm trying to see what does it mean. So it says it's a holiday observed on October 31st, the evening before All Saints or All Hallows Day. The celebration marks the day before the Western Christian feast of All Saints and initiates the seasons of All Hallows Tide, which lasts 3 days and concludes on All Souls Day.
so what does it got to do with the dead?
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's something your mama didn't mention to you?
But not that part.
Well, okay. Okay, that figure.
See, I'm not going
She
to
left
do
out that part.
Well, I know about the Saints and the holiday after all that 3 days. No, I didn't know that part.
Does anybody do anything for all of those same days and soul days?
Well, I wouldn't know that because I didn't know that was the purpose of it. I thought it was the day of the dead that you didn't celebrate, that you didn't do nothing. You left that alone.
And what religion would that have been for?
I don't know, Ray. Just the way
So
it
it does say that Halloween is the most dangerous days of the year for your children, home, car, and health. Because
Why?
Because of the number of risks, including pedestrian fatalities, theft, and vandalism. So basically, they said because motherfuckers able to wear masks, they go do whatever the hell they want to do on Halloween.
And you in the dark, walking down the street and get run
Well,
over.
I mean, you wearing a mask today, and these motherfuckers still stupid and get caught. I mean,
So you said it's like a purge night on Halloween.
You get the purge. Nobody's.
You wear a mask, do whatever you want to do.
But that don't mean go out and beat and
they
kill
didn't say
them.
do whatever you want to do. They said go.
They said nothing like that. It's like little kids go out there and adults go and have sex parties.
Question: are you prepared for
Purge.
a purge?
What is there to be prepared for?
Well, you sure can't be in there in your house not protected.
Well, the house will be ready. It'll be.
I'm saying, are you prepared right now for a purge?
If a purge happened right now, yes.
How would you get ready?
Metal doors, metal windows, and a lot of guns.
So nobody can get to you in that dwelling for that 24 hours. Is that pretty much it?
Right. Make sure you can secure your home.
Go into your bomb shelter.
I think I would do that. I would have a panic room, and we would stay in there for 24 hours.
What is that? Who?
Panic room.
Panic room. You ever seen that movie, The Panic Room?
Yeah, but it was
and
like
they do have houses built with panic rooms in it to this day.
Yeah.
but you can't get out.
You're not trying
I can get out. You
Wow.
can't get in.
Thank you. I'm trying to go nowhere for 24 hours.
I guess you can be locked in or locked out. I guess it depends how you feel.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock you out. I ain't trying to be locked out.
And yes, I'm locked in. I can't get out.
Right.
So you can't get me.
Right. So it's blue or both. That's so scary. I don't think I'm ready.
What was
Now, are y'all ready for a
house?
pandemic?
What dinner?
I think,
I'm sorry.
Good one.
How you doing?
Oh shit.
He's ready. He's ready, Dennis. He's ready.
He's hungry.
All right.
Yeah, he's ready.
You gotta be able to eat during these times.
I was saying, are you ready for another pandemic?
Another pandemic?
Yeah.
Bobby, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
In your panic room, do you have snacks?
I would have everything that I would need.
Right, you put whatever you want in your panic room. That's
Like
only you know where it is, and you
things
suck it how
that
you
you
want.
and your family would like. You would cater to you and your family.
So you have like a refrigerator and stuff in there?
Whatever you want.
Oh, that's hot.
It's a secure room. No one can get in or out.
You can have hot coffee in there too. You could be sitting there
And
drinking
you have
coffee.
a bathroom in it if you want.
You could be in there sitting, drinking coffee, and laughing at people trying to get into your house.
So would that be on a separate power line?
Of course.
Yes.
It's a panic
Whoa.
room.
No,
They
because I
won't
mean,
even. They won't even know where is that.
And even at that, if you do it right, even if your house gets, say, it gets shot up, it doesn't affect the panic room.
And if
wow.
you do it right and get it fireproof, if they
You
burn
want
it
all
up,
that.
yeah, if they do that, you good. You just there. I mean, you safe.
Okay.
I think everybody should have one of those in the house.
You can afford it.
You afford to buy the house, it's included into the house. Got to pay the house note and the insurance. Get that panic room in there, and you're not planning on moving out. That's part of generational wealth.
I'm just scared of Halloween. I don't know about purge and all that kind of stuff. Halloween is for the devil.
Halloween's for them white sheets.
My wife, she's come out every day. Ain't nothing stopping them. Halloween ain't got nothing to do with that white
But
sheet.
are you prepared for another pandemic?
What kind of pandemic?
The one you
And
just
what is there to prepare for?
You know, things is about to change. Have y'all noticed the prices in meats and stuff now? The prices going up.
Hey,
Everything is going up.
have you noticed the shelves? I went to dollar store. They have nothing. They say they ain't got a truck in weeks.
Because
Because
stuff is not coming in.
For
So
What the
that's
hell's going on? It's like
that's what I'm
somebody
saying.
blew up a
Are
bomb in
you
that place.
prepared
people
for
are
another
getting
pandemic?
sick and can't go to work.
Man, go up there one on Robbinsdale on that hill. They had nothing.
That was the Dollar General.
That's dollar something.
No, it's Dollar Tree in Robbinsdale.
They right across the street from each
The
other.
Dollar General in Robbinsdale too.
They're both across the street from each other. The one on this side had nothing. The other one was full.
The one with the subway by the subway.
Yeah, that was empty.
You know, they just had a 50% off sale too.
What that mean?
They had everything 50% off. So I'm not saying that's the reason why they empty, but yes, back to what you're saying, shit is not coming into the United States. Prices are going up higher. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just telling everybody, it's gonna be some shit coming up in this winter. Just prepare as much as you can. Everything that you can get in your the canned goods or whatever, do it, because they telling us, China even telling us, yo, your Christmas is gonna be fucked up because a lot of shit here is broke down. We can't work unless because
Are you now suggesting to hoard stuff?
No, I'm suggesting to be prepared.
What's the difference between hoarding and being prepared?
Get a deep freezer and keep it moving. Keep it pushing.
Is that hoarding or is that
No, my grandmother had deep freezer all her life. She go to the basement, make a meal, have food for days. We had to go shopping ever.
So if you get a deep freeze, does that mean you plan on hoarding food?
No, we're gonna get a cow, split it up, get some canned goods and some dry goods.
That would last you
a year.
That is not gonna last you a year. A cow's not even gonna last you 3 months.
It lasts me 3 months or a year.
But you, it's not only you.
It is only me. I'm only one person. You're my fourth cow.
But you cook for all your friends.
Well, now that Bobby said that, I'm gonna stop doing that shit.
I'm being honest with y'all. I'm being real. It's going.
It's true. I mean, what do you say?
Because I know how I feel late at night when I ain't got no snacks. I'm about to go crazy. It ain't nothing open.
Yeah, but you don't hoard snacks like that. You wait until you get out to talk about a snack.
I'm gonna have to start doing that. Maybe we should go to Costco.
An issue with the supply chain.
Yes,
So
because
how
everybody's sick.
if they hired the folks that are in prison to do this work, especially in California, pay them the wages that they're paying these folks that can't fill these jobs, especially since they're going to have this port open for 24 hours a day. They could actually have prisoners going in shifts, and they could be getting decent wages so that they can be saving and have, nice checks to come out and, restart their lives. They're hiring them for other things. I don't understand why they didn't even look to this population who could use the money and will probably, they got the bodies to like be lifting stuff too. So I'm just saying.
And it's not like they can call in from work.
Yep, you can bus them to, the port. They work, they shift, and then you bus them back.
But that would be giving too much to the inmate. That's not creating a harsh, hostile environment for them. They are in prison.
Hey, how dope would that be if our inmates saved Christmas? I think that would be pretty fucking dope.
Yes, that is progress. But as long as you got them old fossils in Congress, they're not gonna move that direction. Because those old people don't think of progressive ways. They want to just keep it backwards.
And they're saying that they need truck drivers. They took all the CDO programs out the prisons, put them back. There are folks coming out and coming home every day. They know there are people on the path coming out in 4 months. If it take 3 months to do this training and get this license, why not set folks up so when they get out to be able to have a job and to also help us so that we can get the goods to the store, like the Dollar General, whatever store Dennis was talking about, so they got the stuff they need on their shelves.
Sign up.
All this stuff is sitting in the middle of the oceans.
Sign, I'm detecting that you don't want to have the prison system to make money. You don't want them to progress and make money.
Wages. No. I want the inmates to get paid the wages that they paying these people for these jobs.
I didn't say the inmates. I said you don't want the prison system.
No, this ain't the prisons. No, I ain't thinking about the prisons.
They would also
give them 5% for admin costs. You know what I'm saying? To cover the driver. Because that's really all it is. The company is sending, the check to the commissary of the inmate. So
the average truck driver
ain't doing nothing.
So the average truck driver make about good 60,000 plus. Now that would set a person up real good. So the reason why they're not doing that, who populates the prison system? POC. Right. They don't want man one of us to be okay, to be set like that. That means you're set. You get out of prison, you can go drive a car and get $60,000 a year.
That's why we have crime and all this negative stuff, because people don't have good jobs. The system is not set up to progress and have everybody a decent job to survive. That's how you cut crime.
It's not set up for us to have everything you just said.
It's not set up for poor people, period. That's what I'm about to say for everybody. It's not set up for everybody.
But there was a second Bill of Rights that guaranteed us those things, and they didn't want it a part of,
the guarantee
of this nation. It was a guarantee of housing. It was a guarantee of healthcare. It was a guarantee of jobs. Just like you have your Bill of Rights, your right to free speech, your right to assemble, your right to, bear arms. There was a whole nother set of rights that they chose not to implement into our Constitution, which is really fucked up. There was a president, I think it was Roosevelt. One of them was trying to get it, the second Bill of Rights. Look it up, it's pretty dope. And it would have guaranteed every American a job, a house. We wouldn't have any homeless folks. People would have to get a job. Like you wouldn't, not be able to access a job.
But wouldn't that make people of color equal to everybody?
And in the Constitution, we're not equal.
That's why I asked, wouldn't that second Bill of Rights make everybody equal?
It would level the playing field. And the Constitution is a living document. That's why they don't want amendments. And so just so folks know, it's never finished. I mean, we keep amending it all the time. And I think that, as our country changes and the dominant culture shifts, there'll be more, amendments to the Constitution. And voting rights should be one that's on there. It should be everybody's right to be able to cast a ballot in this country.
Our country changed? Since when?
Well, I believe
whether
those that are in Congress and elected should be mandatory, follow the will of their constituents and not the will of themselves. Because those votes are based on their individual thoughts. They can say it's for their constituents, but that's their individual thoughts. And we have to live with it.
I think all the people that wasn't born in the 70s, before the 70s, should be grandfathered out of politics. Every last one of them should be grandfathered out, from the judges on down. These people
that's even rude. You serve 30 to 40 years and not even let anyone new come in and bring new things for your particular state. I think that's so.
These folks have been in office since Jim Crow started. I'm being honest with you. They started.
Nobody's running against them. It's all about turning out.
You got it set up where they don't.
People. Well, they can. I mean, what is her name? Alexandria Ortiz-Court, whatever. What's the girl's name from New York?
Yeah, AOC.
Young Latina. She challenged a long-term seating Democrat actually in her area and won. It's about turning out votes.
That's in a city ready for progress. You got all these others that are not ready to progress, like Chuck Grassley and all them old who still be 90 years old. That city really isn't ready to change.
What state is he from? What state is he from? What state is he from?
I think he's South Carolina or something like that. I could be wrong on which state, but
and
again, that's penalized.
Isn't there also a Black Republican from that state?
I'm not sure which state, if it's the correct state. I apologize if it's the wrong.
But the point is that, some of these places, we're not going to be able to do anything about this, their senators. Like North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, you know what I'm saying? Because
there were term limits you could.
Demographics in their state. But there are other places where we can turn out the vote and change things, like in Texas, like in Florida. There's so many millions of people, brown people, Black people, who do not vote. Mississippi.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That can be changed on state level.
Philadelphia.
They showed what was possible in 2020 in Georgia. If there are investments made in those communities, not, 3 weeks before an election, but ongoing investments and having conversations and everyday people, nonprofits, leading the way and educating their communities about how to use and exercise their power. Because that's how it all happened down there. It was a lot of nonprofits that got together and executed and turned people out.
Do you believe they do that on the state level? Because just like their Republican caucus in Georgia, are creating laws because they are the majority. They're creating laws and obstacles for people to vote, just like they did in Texas. Without any Democratic support, the Republicans went out and made all those rules to only benefit their kind.
Exactly, because again, that voter education piece is so important. I was just talking to someone today about, votes in a particular district last year here in St. Paul. There were 40-something thousand registered voters, at 7 a.m. in that district. This person only got like 11,000 of those votes. And so that means what, 30,000 some or so folks who voted for president didn't vote for their rep?
Did they even know about the rep?
You have to vote the whole ballot. And people, because there's so much attention paid to the top of the ticket, and people don't vote the rest of the ballot. And that's how we end up with Republican-controlled legislatures in our states.
Well, we have 23. We have 23 predominantly Black cities in America. What can we do with these 23 predominantly Black cities to make sure our people get out there and vote? You know what I'm saying? That's the issue that we got to figure out.
We got to make sure we figure that issue out here in Minnesota.
Because we are definitely out of control. Consider Minnesota Black, and this was from a 2021 thing. They don't even consider Minnesota Black or St. Paul.
Oh, it's not. You have to create change here.
Actually, St. Paul is almost primarily majority people of color. We're going to hit that before Minneapolis.
I'm sure. But still in there,
people
we have to
need to have a reason to vote. If
representation,
they don't see, things changing in their lives. I mean, this shit with Biden, his administration, with sort of not prioritizing things like voting rights in the George Floyd Policing Act. Those things were priorities for the communities who helped get them into office. And those priorities seem to have fallen off of his radar. They can't get through Congress. And what is baffling me is like he's been in he was a congressman, I don't know, 40 some years before he became president. So he got relationships with these folks. Because like you said, they all been there the same amount of time too.
Right.
And so why can't y'all come together like they did in the 60s and pass the Voting Rights Act and pass
because everything is more partisan and everything is about more money.
But he can't even use his relationships with these people to get them to do the right thing, which is really messed up.
Send me the library.
I wonder, is there anybody out there that actually use relationships to smooth over between all the animosities going on today? Is there anybody that could have done it? Because Donald Trump didn't do anything but inflame it. Biden, you're still dealing with him. Is there anybody, that could actually, quell this?
We needed a smooth talker.
He died.
He died.
That's good. That was a smooth operator.
I wouldn't wish that we take these 23 cities, since we run it already, put the right people in office within these cities and let us live. You know what I'm saying? I think if we do that and focus on these inner cities that predominantly Black, because we want to run out and get our own land, which is fine and dandy. Let's buy our land within that city and fix it up and make it ours, because it's already ours. You know what I'm saying? Like Detroit, like Baltimore. It's easily, we can go in there and just revamp that if we had the coin just for us. We already predominantly, it's already Black. St. Louis.
So it's gonna have to be bigger than that. And let me tell you why.
Mhm.
If you look at what happened in Flint, there is a policy called preemption, where the state can take over decision making for a city. And it is what they did in Flint, which led to them not being able to switch their water.
And not
nobody
even
got the-
informed the city.
No one at the city, even though they had elected officials, a mayor, a city council, they could do nothing because the state had took control of the city.
Yes.
And so we got to think bigger than that, because if the legislature is controlled by people who don't support what we're doing, there's a policy in place for them to be able to take over what we're doing and stifle what it is we're trying to build.
Right. That needs legislator.
This is, again, why civics education is important,
Yes.
because folks don't know that. You know what I'm
Nope, I
saying?
didn't.
Like,
As a people, a lot of us don't know that.
I didn't.
And they're not going to teach it in public school.
They didn't. They don't.
I'm just saying.
They
but
won't.
they should. We've been trying to get civics education, a bill passed here for many years. I don't know, probably a good 10 to 15 years, since Mark Ritchie was our former Secretary of State. And we can't even get that passed. Even when Democrats were in control of the House, the Senate, and the governor's office, we still could not get civics education incorporated into our K-12 public education curriculum.
No, because if you start
Think
doing
about
that,
that.
then they'll have to bring the CRT in. Critical race theory, because a lot of
No,
the
this
civic
was before
engagement causes you
CRT.
to think.
This was all before CRT. Just the simple basics of how the government works earlier, besides when you become a senior and you got to take government class, and they quickly breeze through that
semester.
process. Right. We wanted it a curriculum where, starting at pre-K, kids are learning about their role as community members, not just as citizens, because we also want to make sure that everyone understands how they can contribute to building and growing our community. And civic engagement is just one piece of that.
It needs
And
to be.
again, the Democrats didn't pass it either. So if there are people who want to keep that type of information from you, like, I'd be looking at them sideways.
Yes. Not everybody is a brother, cousin, color.
But how do we build that coalition of people who will teach and understand that and continue that kind of concept? Because most of us only have politics for a short while. When we get a president that we like or a party that we like, we jump on the back with it at that time. Where's the education that's continuous, that keeps us abreast of what's really going on?
Again, that's the role of groups like this one, to do that education for the people that you serve. If you look at what helped grow the participation in the civil rights movement, they used citizenship schools, which is the term, it's the same thing that we call our democracy schools. Shout out to Sam Grant for giving us that name. But it's simply a space where you go and get civics education. You go and you dream together as a community.
We need to have that
come
back.
up with a plan, and then you implement and execute that plan to get whatever changes you want to see. But you have, everyday people stepped up to do that. That's why I so admire Fannie Lou Hamer and Ella Baker. You know what I'm saying? Ella Baker, who invested in building the leaders like John Lewis to help lead the movement. You know what I'm saying? So it's everyday people that taught that stuff. They got involved and then went and taught others what they learned and brought others with them, and they actively did the process. So it was just like on the job learning or on the job training. You know what I'm saying? That's how you learn civic engagement. I can sit and talk to you all day from the front of a classroom. But the way you actually learn it is by participating in our democracy.
There you go. There you go, Simon.
So that means that we have to like gather people like door knock, phone bank, do physical stuff.
Have a conversation.
Yes, the stuff you saw at Knock is what you got to do to build community.
Well, a lot of food was involved in that too. So I mean, is there food involved in this?
No, that's right. You can't be bringing people together and not feed them. You got to feed the people.
Especially people that look like you.
That's right. We brown. When we come together, we gonna eat.
Yes, a piece of chicken or something.
Yes. You know, the dominant culture in the state, that's not how they get down.
No, what we do.
That's why you saw food at every one of my meetings.
Well, you know, that's what we do though. You know, that's the culture. We feed you first before we give you $1.
You're so messy.
Well, I mean, is that
but
the
that
culture?
is true though. We are
Yeah, we will feed you before we give you money.
We sure will.
Mr. Barnes, y'all met Mr. Barnes?
Huh?
I don't know where he went. We had Mr. Barnes on for a second, but I guess he went to his phone.
Hello.
Todd Barnes, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing terrific. How are you?
Absolutely is great. Have you met our panel?
I haven't. I can't really see anybody, but I can hear everybody.
And we got Sign Up, Bobby, myself, and Uncle Ray. We trying to solve the world's problems.
Hello.
It's wonderful to be with you and just to be able to listen. And I appreciate just being able to join and learn what you're all about, and what you're doing, and what you're saying. So thank you.
Now this is the I played the top. I mean the Ellis piece last week, Simon, with the guy who had COVID he didn't went to vaccination. Remember that story we played last week, or was it Monday?
Yes, from the High School for Recording Arts.
Right. Remember that piece we played? I think that was Friday.
Yes, shout out to the High School for Recording Arts over there. Thank you for letting our partners in your school uplift in poverty, Tanya Drawn, come, and they were like, y'all were open and let them do civic engagement with some of the young folks, and they were out educating folks in the community and calling voters. And so like what we were just talking about, groups like that, going out and educating their peers.
Nobody
Todd Barnes
like
produced that piece that we played on here. And this is the guy that produced that piece for that I used from his show.
Oh, the producer. I thought it was the guy you interviewed. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
no, I love high school.
Go ahead, Todd.
I love High School for Arts, and I love Tanya Drawn. So it was all wonderful to hear. Thank you.
They kind of fit in by the same token because, you know, TC been around for 9,000 years, you know, and we all know and love him from back in the day, you know, and the fact that he did what he did for COVID, you know, telling people Afro Americans, you know, to try to, you know, about the vaccination, how it affected him. I thought it was a really good story. And I brought Todd on to see what we do because I want him to produce more that kind of content for us to talk about the different things that's going on in our community. And also what we're going to be doing for the rest of the year, you know, around Black Pride, how does it affect people in Minnesota, how we can grow this thing, grow information with factual information, and working together on projects in the future.
Yeah, so thanks for letting me be a part of it, Dennis, and thank you all.
I love that smile, Bobby. Yes, we gotta do that. The hand wave, like you were on the parade. Yeah, there you go. So sweet. I'm just curious. In today's news,
did y'all see the bow and arrow attack in, what was it, Norway?
What kind of arrow attack?
Bow and arrow.
Okay, somebody used a bow and arrow to shoot somebody.
So, several people. I think it was one. It was like an attack, like how we have guns shooting.
Right.
Like they went and attacked people with bow and arrows.
I think it's cool. But were they zombies?
No, but what I think is interesting is because they have really strict gun laws.
Right. Okay. America could do that, but you have to remember, Americans are privileged. So they believe they should above all of everybody.
But I don't understand, because when people do stuff like that, and we see that stuff on TV, but they can arrest people or put people out of they can wear or making a record that glorifies drugs or alcohol or rape, but you can actually see pictures of people shooting with the arrow. Because I know Ice-T was in a movie where he was hunted by a bow and arrow.
It was cow hunting.
Yeah, so I mean, like, when I see stuff like that, that kind of stuff put in people's mind on what they really want to do in public. You know what I mean? They actually, we see these kind of images. What do we do? How do you address that?
Well, what was the root cause for them to even attack before you even worry about what manner they used to attack?
The image that we see of white people doing their natural thing of being violent and taking things, what should us Black people take from that? That's what you're asking?
Bobby, you put that so simple. I don't.
Just got to make it difficult.
Okay. I'm not trying to make it difficult, and
See, trying to make it difficult.
What?
Yeah.
This kind of thing came up with Dave Chappelle, saying in his comment about they're making it about gay people, but it's really about white people. Huh?
I dropped the story in the chat.
About the Norway, yeah, I just looked that up too. But yeah.
I don't quite understand when people do stuff like this. I mean, get it from TV, but I mean, we only find certain things.
Who is we?
Always generalize.
Okay.
I mean, I need to know, because I can see white folks doing it because that's what they naturally does. But who is we? Because we are not going to do things out of the ordinary. A bow and arrow. What have you
if
seen?
If we was in a situation that's what we had, we would use it.
But in general, we always say that we're not part of the we, but we don't look at this as we're Americans. We spend our money. We use their tools.
We are not Americans.
We're not even
Afro-Americans.
We're not even humans in America. So
right, you are not American. You are African American. Those are two different things.
So you only use it when it's good for you. When you want to go to the doctor, you want to use the roads, you want to use the phones, you want to use the money. Is that what you want to?
Everything. I use everything that African Americans produce.
Are allowed to use.
I do.
I use every bit of what they allow African
Americans. What my ancestors produced, and they just turned us white. So you can continue on. We want to take it for what? The traffic lights. What else? What else you were saying? The open heart surgery. What else you were saying that we want to take advantage of?
Jack Daniels.
The heart machine. What else we did? We done a whole lot. The light bulbs. We want to take advantage of that too.
Yeah, we're gonna take advantage of it. We assisted
the vaccine. The vaccine for COVID. We want to take advantage of that too. Because we did that.
We're taking advantage of everything we're allowed to.
Everything that we done.
So how do you take ownership of some things but not all? They asked the question, who killed Kennedy?
Well,
who killed Martin Luther King? It was me and you. It was us. It was us that agree with the system. It's us that agree with all these things that go on. It's us or we, or that whole thing, because we have to agree with this. While we're accepting the money system, all the things that we accept, it's us who agree with this. It's not just them. We have to find some kind of distance ourselves from whatever that
Put
is.
yourself in that situation, because say for yourself, because you was there in 1954, not me. So
I was born in '67.
I'm
Hush.
just saying. I mean, don't say us, because I wasn't even thought about then. So you know how I feel about it now. Yeah, it was some messed up stuff. And yeah, I wish we had the same fire that we have now with George Floyd. That we I'm just tired of picket signs. That's it.
Is there really a side to take?
So what? Okay, if you don't protest or get on the street or stop traffic or do those kind of things, what do you suggest we do?
Because what other reason would they have to listen to?
You do that. That creates the conditions for policy change. If you look at what happened here in 2015, after those young kids, I think it was Jamar Clark, or was it before that, when they took over the streets here in Minneapolis. But those young folks and all that, the protesting over that year led to the governor coming up with like $100 million investment for communities of color. It was, not specifically for Black people. They still put that broad community of color label on those resources, but it was $100 million. Now, I don't know how much of that actually went to community, but that decision, he wouldn't have made that type of investment had it not been for those young folks taking to those streets and shutting down the highways. Exactly.
I mean, when you come from a city that's done that's do that 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year, I don't see where it goes. You feel what I'm saying? I'm from Washington, D.C. I see protests all day. It's a protest right now. As we speak, they sitting in front of the White House doing something. What I seen in 2020 is what I'm proud of, because they actually made a difference and had the world look and see how folks really treat us, treating African Americans and other POC. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. That's why I said you get tired of picket signs, because we've been marching peacefully. That's what we do. We are peaceful. We as a culture are peaceful people. You know what I'm saying? We are. You can't tell us nothing in history where we was violent. We was defending ourselves. Regardless of what we did, we defended ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So like Haiti, they defended themselves. But in history completely, you see other people resort to violence regardless. And their culture is violence and thievery. And I don't think sometimes we have to match that with that. Not all the time we should be peaceful. Because like Martin Luther King said, I forgot to quote, but he said something. Was it Martin Luther King or Malcolm X? You know what I'm about to say, Ryan, so go ahead and say it.
I can't quote.
I will say, Keith Ellison would always say, is it demonstration without legislation leads to frustration?
Yes.
And again, it's because how many of those folks that are out there in the streets actually are lobbying their legislator for change? How many of them actually cast a ballot? So it can't just be one or the other. It's all of that. You got to be in the streets. You got to be in their faces and calling them, emailing them, and then voting them out if they're not, voting for policies that represent your interest.
And that's how you get newer people to get involved, because you're constantly talking about it.
And a lot of people don't know who's running for office. Again, that's what, where nonprofits can come in and help introduce candidates to folks. These are the people that want to represent you. It ain't got to be nothing fancy. Do a little meet and greet and let, you know, the people you serve, your clients, have conversations with these people.
But you got to also build faith in these people. We can't just go out there and say it. Like, for instance, we just went out there and was talking about get out there and vote, blase, blase, and we voted for this man. It's taken, you know, we took these folks look at this man like you doing everything for everyone else but us. You're not doing nothing that you say that you was doing. So, you know, we got to build that trust back into our people, because why should we trust these people? This is this right here shows you we vote and we still don't get nothing out of the deal. We still get slapped in the face all the way around. They gave us billions of dollars for our school and take a bunch of it back. You feel what I'm saying? Different things like that. That makes us side eye and don't want to vote. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's why people don't care, and don't want to vote, because they're gonna do what they want to do regardless. And that's proof. The proof has been shown so far.
Exactly, because we don't come back and hold people accountable.
Yes, after the first time we vote, we forget about the whole
That's
process.
it.
After, yes,
Exactly.
I agree.
And so next year is a really big election, and the Democrats want to win the Senate, and they want to keep control of the House. Now, they don't do that without us, Black people, showing up to vote. There is no path to victory without us. Now, we can be smart and leverage that power and be like, hey, we ain't gonna show up to vote. Why? Because ain't shit changing in our lives anyway, because we ain't got nothing to lose.
That's correct.
We got something to lose if we don't show up to vote.
Right.
We don't exercise our power in the way that we should. And you know how they're able to take advantage of us in that way is because we aren't a fucking collective group of people. We don't have no uniform agenda, no uniform vision that we all can collectively agree upon as a way for us to move forward together. You always be talking about that, Black people not coming together.
So
we
would you
got
ever?
to look at what we had back then. We had strong people back in the day that took leadership. Who do we have now? Back then we had Muhammad, Reverend Muhammad, whatever his name is. I mean, Farrakhan. We had Farrakhan. He was doing his thing. People were scared of him. Everybody was scared of Farrakhan. Then you had Martin Luther King. You had Malcolm X. We had all these strong Black men
But
and
a lot of them wanted to fit in with no party.
We have Shirley Chisholm, is that her name? Black men and women out there back in the day. But who do we have now that we can say, oh, that brother or sister is, showing us the right way? We don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, COVID. Folks don't realize that us people of color, a sister of ours, is one of the ones that helped construct the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? So that's more of a reason for us to go out there and get it. Because it's safe. I got mine. Did you get yours, Dennis?
I got 2 doses. What is it, Pfizer?
In August.
Yeah, I got my card. This weekend, I will say it again, the first time I went to an event, they asked me for my card if I was vaccinated. And I'm like, wow, this is a really real thing now. They actually asked me to show my card at the coming out brunch this weekend. So it was really interesting that now they asked me, and they had a staff on duty.
Oh, wow, you came out this weekend? How was that experience?
I really would love to know what would be your coming out story? Like when you decide to come out the closet or be gay. We should do that like an episode of telling all of us stories about how we came out or what that was like when we came out.
My eyes is a little X-rated, so I don't think I should be telling that.
Oops.
But as we got this posted on our screen, it's just telling us ways to stay safe during this winter month, because everyone got a cough like Dennis just did. If I was in that same room, I thought he had corona. So if we wash our hands, get tested as often as possible, stay 6 feet apart, wear masks regardless of where you at. If you're outside or inside, down and under, or doing your due with people that you don't know, wear your mask or stay home when you're able to. You know what I'm saying? Those are things to keep us safe because no one else is going to worry about us POC people but us. So that's the reason why we letting you know. Wear a mask. It can be Gucci. Wear a mask.
Yes. You get a mask. We got masks too with POC on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, just make sure you get your face mask and everything. But also keep in mind that we are having a baking contest. That's correct. We having a baking contest for all of those of you that like to talk all that smack, like you can do those sweet potato pies and pound cakes like that, like Mama Sheila or whoever else. Prove it. Because we giving out cash prizes and all that. You understand? We will have a flyer out and more information on our website and on our Facebook page, on our social media outlets. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Also coming up, we have a big old Halloween, well, B&M Entertainment and Marvelous Boutique. It's from St. Paul, having a big old Halloween party on the 30th of October. Get your tickets now and go to Marvelous Boutique on Facebook or B&M Entertainment and inquire about your tickets. But also, we're having a pajama party on November the 13th. So come out there and get your PJs done. Again, we're giving out trips, cash, and all that. You understand? Also, we're having a traffic paint at Pimentos, and we bringing 4 sexy Black men from Atlanta. That's right, 4 hot chocolate men coming up from Atlanta on December the 3rd to Rock, Minnesota, because you know it's going to be some cold shit up in here. So we're going to need some heat. So if you want to see some good stuff, make sure you stay in contact with B&M Entertainment, POC Pride, and get with us. Because every Sunday, POC will be at Pimentos Plant Spades. Who's trying to see me at that table? Catch me on Pimentos Sunday.
Thank y'all again for joining us for the Bipoc Happy Hour. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. for your enjoyment. Please wear your mask. Get your vaccine if you haven't. And stay tuned to us. Peace out, everybody.
Who's doing it now?
Well, I can't start.